But again, when it comes to GOATs, they got to have that relationship with the media to propagate their image over time. Now, former teammate of Kobe Bryant, Lemon Pepper Lou, had came to Kobe's defense. And right here, we're going to see very keen generational differences on just the marketing side of the NBA is really undefeated. Look at Zion Williams. It's hard for a lot of NBA fans to shake off that overall #1 pick expectations from him, even though the reality has told us otherwise. Not only Jordan Brand has dropped his signature shoe after him signing the second highest contract as a rookie right after LeBron James. And when it comes to the basketball side, it's very difficult to build a team around him.
I think if you look up most of the rankings, I think most people have Tim Duncan ranked ahead of him. And again, it's all different. Like and our rankings will change based on, you know, the new age guys like Bill, Kareem, and Wilt that are going to be ranked up high on certain rankings. But when it comes down to Kobe and Tim Duncan, I think Tim Duncan is ranked ahead of him. And most people.
Anybody disagree? Agree. Oh, Lou's doing something over there. What are we doing?
We got to stop trying Kobe.
No, we're not trying Kobe. We're not. Are we not trying Tim Duncan?
No, hold on. Slow down, Chandler, before you jump on me.
Damn.
Notice how Lemon Pepper Lou avoided the factual details that Chandler Parsons just pointed out. He instantly went to an emotion. He even had no response when Parsons said, "Are we trying Tim Duncan?" Once again, the marketing side of the game is strong as fuck. These guys have it where when fans see a player for the very first time, the way he's marketed is really the perception that's going to stay alongside that player for his whole career. Make no mistake about it, for my generation, the way Kobe Bryant was marketed as an 18-year-old kid, being on all sorts of television shows, going to prom with a famous singer, that branding is very powerful for a generation. It's truly a tricky place. LeBron James, his record going up against Kobe is 16-6. That does not diminish Kobe at all, but it points out a different reality. That's all it is.
We got to stop trying Kobe.
No, we're not trying Kobe. We're not. Are we not trying Tim Duncan?
No, hold on. Slow down, Chandler, before you jump on me.
Damn.
It's too many conversations around Kobe's legacy these days for my liking. Like, we know who Kobe Bryant was, and this has nothing to do with Tim Duncan. I'm going on a soapbox.
Oh, here we go.
It has nothing to do with Tim Duncan. We got to stop trying Kobe's legacy, comparing him to this person, comparing him to that person. When that man was alive and well, none of this was a conversation. His legacy wasn't confused. Who he was, his iconic status, his star status, none of those things were questioned or confused. It was either he was one, he was either two, he was either three.
And that is false. Unfortunately, the conversation kind of jumped over him in a way because LeBron was still playing, and everyone remembers Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. Their GOAT debates on First Take didn't necessarily involve him. It was LeBron and MJ. Same thing from when Skip ended up doing a show with Shannon Sharp. And a lot of the Kobe fan base felt a way about it. Some of that animosity showed up when LeBron had went to LA with his mural getting defaced. Even Kobe Bryant, the first few years after he retired, he made a social media post saying that we need to bring the conversation back to the rings.
It wasn't about Tracy McGrady. It wasn't about Tim Duncan. It wasn't about any of these people. So now all of a sudden that door is open because there's nobody to defend him but his fans and us. So I'm going to step up and say, let's stop this with Kobe. Leave him alone. Leave it alone. Allow him to.
Wait, so he's better than Tim Duncan?
I think so.
Well, there it is.
What conversation have we had? What conversation have we had that Kobe Bryant hasn't? It hasn't been LeBron, Michael Jordan.
Well, you know what? You know why the defense of that is? Because nobody ever gives Tim Duncan the proper amount of respect.
That's a different conversation. We can give Tim Duncan all the respect and love in the world without bringing Kobe Bryant into that conversation.
But if we're doing a list of the best of all time, then we have to.
Kobe Bryant, on 99.8% of all of those lists, Kobe Bryant is in the top 3 of all of them.
And there's no facts to even say that. That's the unfortunate part. That's all marketing. That's all marketing. There's no facts to even say that. Once again, for you fellas that are watching the visual version, I'll put up a chart with Michael Jordan's career stats and Kobe Bryant's. And there's not really too much to say that they were ever on the same level. That NBA marketing machine is a beast, boy.
Point is
I
that those
disagree with
lists
you.
are
I disagree.
wrong.
If you look
because
at the
of
rankings of the
disrespect.
NBA players, he's not top 3 of most of the
Whose
rankings.
rankings?
Just Google top 3.
I don't want to
universe?
Google it. We, for a fact, 3 basketball players sitting up here. Which one of us is not going to have
Thank
Kobe
you.
Bryant in our top 3?
Me.
That's it.
Me.
Top 3.
Top 3?
So you're
And
in
I
that
love him.
So you're in that point 2 I just talked about.
I
There you
think
go.
your numbers are wrong. I think your numbers are way off here. I think if
I'm
you
not
look at
doing that.
rankings,
I don't have to
15
have numbers.
seconds. Tim Duncan, Kobe. Who's higher?
Oh, y'all done arguing? I wanted y'all to keep going.
You know what? We'll carry this.
Tim
to
Duncan or
back tomorrow.
Kobe?
We'll be back tomorrow.
Tim Duncan or Kobe?
Now you notice right there, DeMarcus Cousins refused to answer the question. Let's listen to that one more time, because even he knows what it is.
One of us is not going to have
Thank
Kobe
you.
Bryant in our top 3.
Me.
That's it.
Me.
Top 3.
Top 3?
So you're in
And I
that
love
point-
him.
So you're in that point 2 I just talked about.
I
There you
think
go.
your numbers are wrong. I think your numbers are way off here. I think if
I'm
you
not
look at
doing that. I
rankings,
don't have to
15
have numbers.
seconds. Tim Duncan, Kobe. Who's higher?
Oh, y'all done arguing? I wanted y'all to keep going.
You know what? We'll carry this.
Tim
to
Duncan or
tomorrow.
Kobe?
We'll be back tomorrow.
Tim Duncan or Kobe?
That top 3 is going to be a tough call when you have to pull up the receipts to back it up. But right here, the current star of the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum, he sat down with Ryan Clark, and they were both kind of perplexed by the fact that Kobe's legacy was kind of being tarnished in their eyes. And once again, he is part of that generation where Kobe Bryant was marketed a certain way on his come up.
Kobe Bryant's my favorite basketball player of all time, right? I know you had a relationship. I think it maybe like a few weeks ago, a month ago, Lou Will ended up saying like about people who kind of like are starting to try to knock who Kobe Bryant was as a player. He was saying how much foolishness that is based on who he was when he played and the way people felt about him. How do you kind of see the way storytelling has seemed to shift on Kobe into saying he wasn't all the things we believed him to be when he was on one of the most prolific scoring runs we'd ever seen from a hoop?
Yeah, I think it's like cowardly, to be honest, like because they didn't speak about him like this when he was here.
What's up with that? These guys completely forgot. They were having GOAT conversations as soon as he retired, but they sort of skipped over him, and it was nothing but LeBron versus Jordan on First Take and Undisputed. That marketing is truly powerful because all of a sudden, it just creates like a memory fog in all the minds of the Kobe Bryant stans.
Because they didn't speak about him like this when he was here. And, you know, I think now it being this new age, like everything is so like analytics and shot profile and efficiency, which matters 100%. But in AI, I'm a huge AI fan, one of my favorite players. The year AI won an MVP, he shot 29 shots a game.
Yeah.
Like he was shooting that shit every single time.
And that's a flaw with judging players from the past. They were not as aware of their statistical numbers as players of today. Not only that, but also the game was completely different, more physical. Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson played in the most slow-paced 79 to 63 final score era of the NBA ever.
But we all admire his competitiveness, how tough he was, how he got it done, how he was 6'1" and was the most fierce competitor in the world. But now that Kobe isn't here, we want to bring up the times where he wasn't as efficient, or he shot long twos, and now where we shoot, we try to get away from those and we want to shoot more threes.
Once again, right here, I'm gonna have to have a little bit of pushback. I don't think Kobe Bryant gets flack for those things. Just overall, his impact on the game, it wasn't necessarily on the level of a top 5 all-time player.
And it's like, if you ask anybody that played against him, they all say he was the best player in the league. He was the most terrifying person to guard, and he's one of the 3 most influential basketball players of all time. Like everybody loved, revered, respected, even from different sports, admired who he was.
Marketing. That's the side that Tim Duncan and other greats are missing. For the most part, none of the NBA fan bases really used being an all-time leading scorer in NBA history as a measure of being the GOAT until LeBron broke that record. The media side of the game is putting Kobe Bryant fans in a tricky spot. And their first inclination was when he first retired, and they quickly spoke over him and just made all the GOAT debates about LeBron James or Michael Jordan. And the media even doing that was false. That should have never been a debate to begin with. Not only LeBron James is still playing, you got guys out there like Magic Johnson who only played 13 seasons but yet made the finals 9 times with 5 rings. But you do have players like that sitting out there really being unclaimed in the conversation. Also, Magic Johnson, right before being forced into retirement, his last 4 seasons, he won the regular season MVP 3 times. So guys like that are sitting out there outside of this whole GOAT conversation.
Now that he's not here, you want to try to erase history. And I honestly kind of take it personal because I grew up in St. Louis, which, I don't know, 3,000 miles away from LA. He is the reason why I woke up at 5:30 in the morning, why I chased my dream, because I saw how hard he worked. I watched all his interviews. I watched his mannerisms, how he played on the court, how he handled adversity, how he handled winning.
And Jason Tatum got to see all that because of the media landscape and where it was at. You could say the players like Shaq or even Kobe himself said that they didn't get to see their favorite stars as often growing up due to the whole distribution of television games. The NBA wasn't widely available unless the team played in your home state. Once again, a lot of the things that Jason Tatum just stated, a lot of it's access due to technology and also marketing. That shit is truly powerful because you're not even supposed to know that you've been marketed to.
He was my inspiration and my idol. So somebody that was 3,000 miles away from me inspired me to be who I am. When I see people, discredit him or, kind of talk out the side of their neck, I do kind of take it personal because it's like, that dude meant everything to me. And this energy wasn't the same when he was here.
Ask them, dog. I remember, so when Kobe passed, I was training DBs for the combine. So I was in the airport. The news come across, so me and my son, loved Kobe. So I hit him, and he was like, hell no, Pop. And so I'm on the plane, bro. I was on Southwest. I'll never forget it. I said the exit row. I'm leaning on the wall and crying like I knew him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you could see the lady next to me he tripping. But when I hear that too, how people try to erase or have revisionist history in some people on things that they've said before. They're changing midstream stuff that they said years ago, So it's
Man, all they gotta do is pop in the Redeem team and hear all of the pros, the greatest players, talk about how Kobe approached the game and what he
how he
did
changed them.
and how he turned that around. What everybody else say.
I remember
I was guys validating it.
I was in New Orleans when I found out.
Really?
We played the Pelicans that day, and I remember I was in Popeyes on fucking Canal Street, right by the
Yeah, I know exactly where you were. That's the best Popeyes, bro.
The best. I remember sitting in there and it just came across the news, and I remember it was weird because I felt like, when you're younger, you feel like your idols is invincible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that just kind of hit me damn, I thought he was invincible. I thought nothing ever bad could happen to him.
A lot of us thought that. I was shocked myself because I'm part of that generation where Kobe Bryant was marketed a certain way and he was almost like God. I mean, I never really said this before to anyone, but when I heard he died, I got that phone call from my cousin, and then I looked on my phone and just saw an alert from CNN, which I never remember even signing up for. I lost my balance. I couldn't even stand up. I was so shocked. It's kind of crazy when I think about it because I remember the first time I heard about Kobe Bryant as a kid, and I remember the exact moment when I first heard that he died. It's tough, boy.
I remember I went to my room, I broke down crying.
Yeah, it's so routine. We take a lot of that for granted a lot of times.
Did y'all have, on that day, since y'all was hooping, did y'all have real conversations about it when he passed, when y'all found out?
I remember we played the Pelicans that night. I remember I was in a growing injury, so I missed a week. And I remember I just sat in the back Like, it was a real, like, sad, like, somber day. Like, the game ain't really matter, and nobody was really speaking. Like, you could tell. Everybody just, like, felt heavy.
It is what it is. This is truly tough, but the marketing side of the game, I would say the player outside of Michael Jordan who actually had it the best was Kobe Bryant. Just the overall aura of him has left a lasting impression on everyone, even though most of us don't even personally know him. We as the viewing audience found out that he was a romantic guy through his wife at the memorial. The NBA marketing machine is truly powerful. Going to hear from the older side of the NBA fan base as Max Kellerman and Bill Simmons first discussed the differences between Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant and which one had the better career. There's a lot of nuances that go into it. First of all, some of the NBA stars that are on the Mount Rushmore, there is a little bit of PR side to it. As the players who came up, I would say in the non-modern era, 1970s, 60s, etc., guys like Bill Russell, Kareem to a degree, Wilt Chamberlain, etc. Even though they are all-time greats, at the end of the day, there is another side to it where they have to kind of collaborate on the media side to make sure that their image and just their overall brand is propagated to the masses in a certain way where it can continue carrying on as the years go by. And this is where players like Michael Jordan has a perfect mix of just having the greatness on the court and also the media carrying his legacy. Same thing for Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. But just dialing this right back in with the Tim Duncan versus Kobe Bryant debate, good old Timmy Boy does not have the PR side to his legacy to kind of uplift his greatness. In all 19 seasons of his NBA career, his team has never missed the playoffs. Also, out of his 19 seasons, 12 of them, his team not only has 55 wins, which is crazy enough, but also his career contributed to Greg Popovich being the all-time winningest coach. But again, this is very nuanced because Kobe Bryant throughout his whole career, whether it be the regular season or the playoffs, has a much higher win total going up against Tim Duncan and the Spurs. The NBA gets real tricky when it comes to the marketing side of the game. I'm always saying the league is 30% business, 10% basketball, and 60% marketing. But you guys check out what the fellas at The Ringer had to say, and every once in a while, I'll check in.
Getting back to Steph Curry, Magic Johnson, and all that stuff, it reminds me, when your best player has a quality about them that makes the team feel like that guy, we have that guy, we can't lose, it does something to the team. And Steph, I don't think had that for a lot of his career. He's one of the greatest players ever, but I didn't get LeBron did. I got the feeling like with LeBron on the team, his
LeBron
team
did
believed, later. Right. After the Dallas loss, he started getting that thing. The team believed. Derek Jeter had it, even though there were other players better than him on the team. Kobe Bryant had it, no matter what people want to say, which is why I think it is also ridiculous when people say, oh, Kobe's like the 8th best player ever, the 10th best player ever, and kids from his generation lose their minds.
Once again, Kobe Bryant for his career going up against LeBron, and LeBron outshines him in every major statistical category, whether it be points, rebounds, assists, and offensive efficiency. The NBA marketing is strong, especially in my generation when it comes to Kobe Bryant.
That's not an unfair ranking, but why I would put him over Tim Duncan is because I think that it is close, I think, between those two, is that
it's outrageous.
Kobe's team believed if he had a shot to win,
Kobe's
do the team believed that they would win.
I'm going to leave. The Tim Duncan slander.
You think it's slander to put Kobe ahead of Duncan?
I just think he's the most underappreciated superstar of all time.
Now that right there shows you that Tim Duncan, when it comes to the media side of his legacy and image, he does not have that down packed. That is part of the game of just playing this overall imaginary GOAT list. Michael Jordan, his performance on the court, and also having guys in the media upholding his image, that's the real recipe right there. And I believe LeBron James has shown in recent years, when you do have the media side on lock, just controlling your narrative, that continues to carry your greatness over time. It's very unfortunate the media landscape was not what it is today when Kareem was playing. He had quite a few clashes with media members, as most of them did not really understand who he was outside of basketball. And in the long run, it's really hurt him because his name should be mentioned a lot more when it comes to all-time GOATs. Just think about it like this. When LeBron James broke the all-time scoring record, all of a sudden, everyone cared about who was the number one guy when it came to that stat. But when Kareem had it, the narrative overall coming from all the fan bases wasn't being all-time leader in points makes you the GOAT. But once LeBron had it, it was like that stat was automatically elevated. And that's the power of the media, the power of persuasion.
Saying is it's Kobe and Duncan are neck and neck. I think that's not slander. I think they're neck and neck. Kobe's the closest thing we've seen to Jordan, right? Probably the close in any sport. Tell me an upper echelon all-time great.
I have Kobe like 10th or 11th all time.
Okay. I don't think that's unreasonable.
But
and
Duncan
I have him
has
like
to
8th or
be
9th.
Duncan's 7th. And I don't think it's debatable.
You think it's not debatable?
I don't.
Duncan might have finished the top player of his position of all time. It's very hard to push back on that when you just look at the overall just accolades. Once again, out of his 19 seasons played in the league, his team finished above 55 regular season wins 12 times. So that in itself is already something said, and my man has never really missed the playoffs. 19 seasons played? Shit.
Duncan's 7th. And I don't think it's debatable.
You think it's not debatable?
I don't. I think
MJ, LeBron, Kareem, Russell,
MJ, LeBron, Kareem,
Chamberlain.
Russell, Bird, and Magic.
Oh, head of Chamberlain. Okay.
Chamberlain was a loser for most of his career, and I wrote a whole chapter in my book about this.
He didn't. I mean, you know,
he got traded multiple times.
The Celtics had every good player in the league.
See right there. Once again, there's no media to come to these guys' defense. Bill Simmons is going to come to the rescue of the modern day players, guys like Magic and Larry Bird. That's why I said there's a science to this whole GOAT conversation. You have to not only have the accolades on the court, but the media side is going to have to be down packed too.
You know who's never getting traded ever? Tim Duncan.
Yeah, right. Okay, fine.
Ever.
Fine. I disagree. I think I agree with what you're saying about Wilt. And they used to say, I never got to see Wilt play really, but I used to hear if you needed points, he'd give you assists. If you needed assists, he'd give you points. Okay, fine. You could put Bill Russell ahead of him, not have him 5. So I'd have Wilt 5, you have Bird and Magic right after that. Fine, whatever. So you think Duncan is right after Bird and Magic?
I do. And guess what? I think Jokic is coming. But yeah, I don't think it can only be with one title.
Agreed.
Because now we're in the titles. I don't love the ring culture, but it's really tough to put a one title guy in like the top 8 of all time.
Hey, that Jokic conversation is going to be real uncomfortable if he gets another title because his offensive numbers are just insane. If any other NBA player put up those type of numbers, that was, let's say, Anthony Edwards, a LeBron James, a Kobe, people would instantly be calling them a top 10 off rip.